Last transfer deadline day, we shocked Borussia Dortmund fans around the world by signing João Cancelo. But here in January, in Season 3, I don't think we're going to be making any similarly splashy moves. I'm actually very tempted to make another deadline day signing because we are within touching distance of Bayern Munich atop the Bundesliga. And I think there is a chance, based on our current form, that we could catch them. Especially since we're going to be taking on Bayern Munich in a couple of episodes' time, as well as second place Bayer Leverkusen. However, we only have 50 million in the bank, so not quite enough to sign a true difference maker. And we have already signed a first-team player this season in Georgi Petrovic. So as tempting as it is, I think we're better off rolling our budget over into next summer, where we can truly add a difference maker to the team. We will, of course, do our best to chase down Bayern Munich at the top of the Bundesliga, but I think it's more likely that we'll be looking to really make a push for the title in Season 4. And I was hoping we would get away without selling any additional players too. We received a handful of offers, most notably for Felix Metscher, all of which we could comfortably reject. However, we have just received a bid of about 135 million euros from Real Madrid for Nico Schlotterbeck. Whilst I personally have no interest at all in selling Nico Schlotterbeck, it's not just down to me, it's down to Schlotterbeck himself, and it's down to Buzzko's realistic selling calculator, which has determined, because of the size and prestige of Real Madrid, Schlotterbeck's head has been turned. We must negotiate. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we are forced to sell Schlotterbeck right now. Real Madrid's transfer bid is about 20 million shy of the valuation on Buzzko's realistic selling calculator. It does mean, however, that if they're willing to go up to 150 million euros, then we have to sell him. And if not, we cannot offer Nico Schlotterbeck a new contract regardless. And Real Madrid do match the 150 million valuation. Schlotterbeck could well be on his way out. So tentatively, I will advance 1 hour, but I'm expecting any moment to see Nico Schlotterbeck walking out of the door. And unfortunately, that is exactly what we see. One of our star players, one of our most consistent performers, one of the stalwarts at the heart of what has been a fairly poor and inconsistent defense overall, is leaving the club. Not only that, but Nico Schlotterbeck was club captain, manager's player of the season from last year. So we're going to be relying on the likes of Soumaila Koulibaly, Bekir Omaradzic, maybe even Jakub Kivior to step up into a more prominent role over the second half of the season. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you'll receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific color or pattern, or to avoid certain teams. And if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. And whilst we are forbidden from signing a first team player to replace Nico Schlotterbeck, I think it's important to add a little bit of depth behind the likes of Anton and Omaradzic. So here on deadline day, we will be securing the services of Ozan Kabak. The 26-year-old centre-back arrives from Hoffenheim for a fee of 18.5 million euros. He's big, he's strong, he's relatively mobile, and importantly, he is excellent with the ball at his feet. So I think Ozan Kabak will fit right in, and he'll provide a little bit more depth, a little bit of cover. He'll release a little bit of pressure from the youngsters like Koulibaly and David Wilhelmsson going forward. So as transfer deadline day ticks away, that is now our 3 highest overall players heading into the season. highest overall by far, all departing from the club this year. Schlotterbeck had just reached 89 overall. Gregor Kobel, who of course went for upwards of 100 million euros, was 90 overall. Julian Brandt, I believe, was 87 overall when we sold him. We are now left with the likes of João Cancelo, Felix Metscher, Marcel Sabitzer in the mid-80s as our highest overall players. However, that is another 150 million euros to roll over to next summer. So if we want to bring in not only João Cancelo, but another star player, we're certainly going to have the funds to do so. Drop some names in the comments below of star players you think we should target heading into Season 4. But for now, we have the remainder of Season 3 to focus on. Just 4 Bundesliga games to get to in today's episode, starting out with a featured game against Ozan Kabak's former club, Hoffenheim. We'll also show you highlights of our game against Hamburg just under a week after, and we'll also be quick simming games against Hanover and against Heidenheim. So after having joined his new teammates barely a week ago, Ozan Kabak is going to be dropped in at the deep end, starting here against Hoffenheim. So without further ado, let's head over to the Pre-Zero Arena, see what kind of reception Ozan Kabak gets, and see if he can get one over on his former fans. I think regardless of what happens over the remainder of this season and the remainder of the series, I think even if we fail to win another trophy, the Borussia Dortmund owners are going to be very, very happy. We have made them, what, $500 million in player sales? 350 million euros with the sale of Kobel, Brandt, and now Schlotterbeck. I may even be underselling it. It may even be more than that. That's an errant pass, to say the least, from Anton. So, how much that sale impacts us is yet to be seen. I imagine it's going to impact us significantly as Jamie Gittin steals the ball away from the throw-in, tries to square it for Max Bayer. Can't quite find him. But I think we are going to be significantly impacted defensively. As we said earlier, Schlotterbeck, one of the more consistent figures at the back of a pretty inconsistent defence, all things considered. Captain of the club, by far our highest overall player at the moment, or was our highest overall player at the very least. Gittins tries to 1-2 with Max Bayer, can't find him. And Anton has been surprisingly effective for us. He's been a pleasant surprise, I would say, at the back alongside Schlotterbeck. But now it's Anton who's going to have to lead that defensive line. Because, I mean, João Cancelo is experienced, to be fair, as Hoffenheim open the scoring. And immediately we see Schlotterbeck's absence coming back to hurt us. I really hope it's something we don't see too often. But we've seen it there. Anton well positioned, Kabak the same initially, and it's João Cancelo tucking in, who I would say challenges for the header, but barely challenges. It's essentially a free header. Petrovic gets fingertips to it, can't prevent it from finding the back of the net though, and it's Damar who gives Hoffenheim an early lead just 8 minutes into the game. The awkward thing about Schlotterbeck's departure as well is that we now don't really have a left-footed centre-back to play on the left-hand side of the two. We do have Koulibaly, but Koulibaly's not a player we want to be relying on exactly Felix and Mecha drives. Koulibaly, more of a rotational piece. He's, you know, not close to the player that Schlotterbeck is. And Bekir Omaracic we have very high hopes for, but again, right-footed. Ozan Kabak we brought in because we think he could be effective for us as well, but again, right-footed. This time João Cancelo does head clear. The ball does fall though, as Felix Mecha has taken a tumble on the edge of the box. And we are being pinned back here by Hoffenheim. What a start to the game. Petrovic parries this one away. And Couto is just going to have to hook clear. Fails to do so. Mecha back on his feet, but is nursing an injury. And that's a good challenge by Kabak. That's why we brought him in. Strong defending. Poor pass though, but Jamie Gittins steals it away once, not quite twice. Felix Mecha with the armbands now. He was a vice-captain heading into the season alongside Marcel Sabitzer. But it's going to be taking on the captain's role exclusively now after Schlotterbeck's departure. And I guess it's going to be Sabitzer and Anton, vice-captains. Whether or not Felix and Mecha is going to be able to continue here, though, is yet to be seen. See if he's able to run off the knock. Oh, that's a really good ball in behind. Carried away by Petrovic as Plojek, still at Hoffenheim, surprisingly, looks to double the home side's lead. Terrible, terrible start to this game. As the corner goes short, Zabitzer out to meet. Adeyemi heads clear. Jamie Gittins again tries to steal it away. Again, it's nicely worked. And it's parried again by Petrovic, who's keeping us in the game at the moment. Makoko looking to bring the ball clear, but fouled in the process by a Hoffenheim man. Jan Couto looking to launch our first real attack of the game. Fails to do so. What an unbelievable start from Hoffenheim. Front to back, they have been unbelievable in these opening 20 minutes. Have barely given us a chance to possess the ball. And when we have managed to wrestle possession away from them, they've inevitably wrestled it straight back. Petrovic with another save. Being peppered with shots, his goal so far. Gittins finds Makoko. And again, Hoffenheim are already back and well set up defensively. Mecha still nursing that injury, so he may well have to go off before too long. Kabak squares for Anton. Spreads it wide. Does find Jamie Gittins this time. And it's another poor pass. Hoffenheim just so well set up. So well organised. And are doing a great job of marking our players when we get into their half. I think it's going to be another game where we just have to try and hit them on quick counter-attacks. The speed of our attacks, rather than the precision, I think is going to be key. That's well cut out by Mecha. Balls for a Hoffenheim man, though. And I think here, we're going to have to try and utilise that speed. It was the same story against Mainz. When they had an opportunity to set up defensively, we just couldn't break them down. And I think it's going to be the same story here against Hoffenheim. Cancelo heads clear. Into the path of Adeyemi. And that's such a bad pass. We cannot string two passes together at this time. We are at 6s and 7s, all at odds with one another. Oh, it's nicely worked. Couto cuts it out. Petrovic finds Cancelo. He does find Jamie Gittins, but immediately pressured. Does well to work clear, though. And Zabitzer finds Makoko in a bit of space for the first time. Squares it to Max Bayer. There are just no options. There are just no options. Does manage to find Jan Couto. Zabitzer once more. A little bit of possession now. And a really nice ball into the path of Jamie Gittins, who crosses. Headed clear by Hoffenheim. Zabitzer challenges but can't win it. Squared from Cancelo to Mecha. And And a good overlapping run from Jan Couto. Pulls it back towards Bayer, who equalises against the run of play. Really well worked goal. But you have to say it's an undeserved goal based on the balance of play so far. Hoffenheim have certainly had the better of the opening exchanges here in the opening 25-30 minutes or so. But those are the patterns of play we've utilised to such success so many times this season. Karim Adeyemi cutting in off that right-hand side. He can either go on his own with his left foot, or you've got Jan Couto overlapping. Max Bayer well positioned to dispatch the finish. And 32 minutes into the game, we are level. Very much against the run of play. Pretty much with our only opportunity of the game so far. But we're certainly not going to complain or quibble about that. We are back level, and that is all that matters. Felix Metscher is certainly going to have to come off momentarily, though. He's still ailing from that injury. And I really hope that it's not anything too serious. Arne Engels on the bench, Eric Martel the same. So we do have options to replace Metscher. But he is an influential player for us. And he can barely even run. Just has to relinquish possession to Jan Couto. And I think, to be honest, we might just put this out of play. I think just put this out of play and get Metscher off. So it will be Arne Engels to come on to replace the captain Felix Metscher, whose afternoon is over prematurely, unfortunately. And it will be a Hoffenheim throw, but deep in their own defensive territory. Coco pressing, but can't win it back. Jamie Gittens the same. I think we've probably not got as much out of the left-hand side of our attack as we would have liked this season. And I think if we are to add another star player heading into season 4, that could well be a position to look at. Blocked by Ozan Kabak, I think potentially with a hand. Referee disagrees, or at least determines that the hand is in a natural position. Oh, Jamie Gittens forces his way through, lofts it up towards Max Bayer, and in off the post, but the linesman's flag is up. It won't count. Thought we'd stolen the lead just before half-time. Persistent play from Jamie Gittens down that left-hand side. And he's off by a big toe. How many times do we see it? How many times do we see it? He's off literally by the length of a big toe. Absolutely unreal. We should have the lead. The vast majority of his body is onside. And I think, to be fair, in real life, that probably would be onside. Zabica. Again, we're trying to launch an attack quickly. Jamie Gittens drives down the left-hand side. Max Bayer in the box once again. Gittens just continues this time, though. Gets all the way to the touchline. And it bounces off a Hoffenheim defender and out for a corner. Just 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. And João Cancelo will deliver into a good area. And Ozan Kabak turns it towards goal. Parried away by the goalkeeper. What a moment that would have been for Ozan Kabak on his return to Hoffenheim. To put a goal past his former club on the stroke of half-time. To give us a lead heading into the break, but a little too close to the goalkeeper. Comfortable save really in the end, but a good reaction save. Good persistent play from Moukoko here too. Slips it in behind for Jamie Gittens. Cuts inside, beats his man. Lays it off for Arne Engels. He goes back to Gittens. And Moukoko just finds Cancelo. Lofts it up towards Adeyemi at the back post. Headed clear by Hoffenheim, and Engels can't quite get there before the referee blows the half-time whistle. But after that start to the game, we will certainly take 1-1 at half-time. Max Bayer still cannot stop scoring. Having an unbelievable season. And his incredible goal-scoring form continues. Let's hope it continues into the second half as well. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video. And if you want to see more realistic FC25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. We literally had one shot in that first half. One shot, one goal. That can't be true. That can't be true because Ozan Kabak forced that save from the keeper at the end. But again, that's going to be a product of using the pass button to shoot with headers rather than the shoot button. So not quite one shot, but that was all that was listed on the match facts. 11 total shots for Hoffenheim, 55% possession. Again, that goal, that equaliser very much against the run of play. Slipped in behind. Ozan Kabak tries to put in the challenge, but can't quite. And Marcel Sabitzer will bring the ball clear. Jamie Gittins down that left-hand side again. Not enough space, though. Good ball fired into the feet of Moukoko. And Engels finds Max Bayer, who finds Adeyemi, who surely is onside. He's not! I could have sworn he was onside. And because Hoffenheim are making a change, I don't think we're going to see a replay to see how close that was. But that must have been so close again. Looked onside to me, Adeyemi. Linesman disagrees. Uto beats his man. Burst of pace. Finds Adeyemi. Not too much going on ahead of him, so he will just drive. He just tries to slide it through for Jamie Gittins. Not on the same page, though. Adeyemi persists, wins it back, lofts it up towards Max Bayer, who just nods it down for Arne Engels, who strikes from range. And it's an excellent strike with his left foot, the weaker of the two. Unfortunately, although he caught it well, it's pretty much straight down the throat of the Hoffenheim keeper. Adeyemi dropping in to do his defensive duties. Damar, the goal scorer, was the intended recipient of that pass, but Kuto can't make the interception stick. Kabak comes out to cut the pass out, and that's exactly what he manages to do. And Adeyemi somehow has wriggled past one Hoffenheim defender, wriggled past another, cuts inside, and there's just nowhere to go in the end. Needed Bayer to make a better run there. Needed Moukoko to make some kind of a run. Any kind of a run would have done. And in the end, Adeyemi just ran out of space. If we are going to be catching Bayern Munich this season, we need a win here. And I'm pretty sure Bayer this time is onside, and again he's not. I swear the right back was keeping him on. Oh, again it's close. I thought the right back was keeping him on, but that time probably fair enough, just leaning offside. But if we are going to chase down Bayern Munich, I think we need 12 points out of 12 in today's episode. On paper, there's no reason we shouldn't take 12 points from 12. We're facing Hoffenheim, Hanover, Heidenheim. These aren't good teams. Adeyemi gets the shot away over the bar. So poor finish. We can't be squandering those kinds of chances. If we are going to come away with the victory, if we are going to chase down Bayern Munich, we have to be more clinical than that. Half an hour left to try and find a winner. Much better performance in this second half so far, though. The first half was poor. We were lucky to go in at half-time at 1-1. Adeyemi, gotta be blocked and claimed. Again, seconds after the previous opportunity, it's another chance that's gone begging. Sabitzer, Engels in so much space. Adeyemi once again. Max Bayer can't quite bring it under control, but the ball does fall for him anyway. Jan Kuto finds Zabitzer. Can he get the shot away? Yes, he can, and it's a fantastic finish. And Zabitzer puts us ahead for the first time in the game. Absolutely rocket of a strike from Marcel Zabitzer. Just outside the box, maybe 20 yards or so. Far too much pace on it. Goes through the Hoffenheim defenders, who parted like the Red Sea. And it's a vicious strike from Zabitzer, who could well have just got us 3 points in this game after all. Starting to think it wasn't going to happen. Those couple of missed opportunities from Adeyemi, I thought we were going to tell the tale of this game. It's another great interception from Kabak. He's had a very good game against his former club. What a ball that is into the path of Adeyemi. Jan Kuto on the overlap. Nice ball into a really good area. And I thought the goalkeeper Ernst had fumbled it for a moment there. If he did, he managed to recover. Zabitzer, I think, nutmeg there in midfield. Oh, and I thought Bayer was going to steal in and nick that ball away, which is exactly what Moukoko has managed to do. Moukoko can't find Bayer. Perfectly positions the centre-back. Potentially Moukoko should have just shot across the keeper. And if he managed to make the save, there was always a good chance that it would fall to Max Bayer on the rebound. But instead he tried to square it. And the centre-back managed to block the pass. Kuto finds Anton. João Cancelo. I think we'll probably make some additional changes next time the ball goes out of play. Jan Kuto will drive. We'll find Jamie Gittens out on the left-hand side, and he will just strike across the keeper. At least that was the plan. Last-ditch challenge from the Hoffenheim defender prevents Gittens from even getting the shot away. But again, Max Bayer was well positioned. But it will be another change for Hoffenheim as the ball goes out of play. And we'll make another couple of changes here as well. Youssoufa Moukoko has again had a pretty quiet game, so he will make way, as will Jan Kuto, Thiago Thomas and Frankowski to come on to replace them. Fresh legs for the remaining 20 minutes or so as Gittens steals the ball away. I wouldn't mind a third goal in this game. I'm not 100% sure we're going to need it, to be honest. Hoffenheim haven't really threatened us in this second half. They looked excellent in the first period, but have been far below that first half performance here in the second. So I'm not entirely certain we will need a third goal, but it's always good to have insurance. Thomas drives, finds Frankowski, who delivers a ball into such a dangerous area. What a cross that was from Frankowski. Anton just find Engels, and Kabak spreads it wide for Frankowski once again. And we can just retain possession. We don't need to press too hard for that third goal. Don't want to be playing low percentage passes that could just gift Hoffenheim possession. More than happy to just keep the ball and try and work a good, clean, clear opportunity. Frankowski finds Adeyemi on the edge of the box this time, who curls one. Again, straight down the throat. The keeper, unfortunately. That's 3 chances Adeyemi's had, really. That one more of a half chance. But those opportunities he had earlier in the half were a bit more clear-cut. Frankowski needed it across the keeper rather than at the near post there, really. Another comfortable save for the Hoffenheim keeper. Again, Ozan Kabak wins that back. Just finds Petrovic. He finds Kabak once again. Kabak very good with the ball at his feet. Certainly something that drew me to him. But he has a number of defensive play styles as well. That's a poor pass. That's a poor pass. I'm going to stop doing that. Every time I talk up one of my players for some reason, or talk down the opposition, I always end up with my foot in my mouth. So I'm just going to stop doing it. Frankowski just drives, but again, Hoffenheim, well organised defensively. We had multiple runners that time, but they were tracked so well by Hoffenheim. 10 minutes left to play. I think next time the ball goes out of play, we're going to make our final changes of the game, and I think we'll make some ever so slight tactical adjustments as well. Good challenge from Arne Engels. And if Hoffenheim take the free kick quickly, which they ultimately don't, they do loft it into the box though, over the head of Anton. Thankfully saved comfortably by Petrovic. They will just roll the ball out to Kabak. Square for Anton. Gittens all alone on the left-hand side. Drives past his man. Thiago Thomas in support. Gittens cuts inside. Finds Arne Engels. He finds Adeyemi. Frankowski on the overlap. Will just turn back. And needs some help. Gets it eventually with Arne Engels. Thiago Thomas, nice little turn, gets the shot away, parried away by the keeper and out for a corner. Unfortunate from Thiago Thomas, nice little turn to create the opportunity. And the ball will go out for a corner. We have made our final change here as well as Cancelo delivers. Ozan Kabak again in the dangerous area, but hooked clear. The ball will fall for Cancelo, who beats Slojek and gets a shot away with his right foot. We haven't seen that too often from Cancelo. We saw it a lot when he was at Man City in the Premier League. Shots from just outside the box. He scored a couple of worldies in the Premier League from those kinds of areas. Haven't seen it too much since he's joined us here at Dortmund though. Good challenge, Adeyemi. We have made some slight tweaks to the tactics for these final 5 minutes or so. Just dropping Frankowski in a little deeper. The same with Adeyemi. He's going to stay wide as well rather than cutting inside. And both Arne Engels and Marcel Sabitzer playing slightly more defensive roles in centre midfield as well. Max Bayer will collect. And he'll just hold on to the ball via Frankowski. And there's Sabitzer. There's Engels. Again, we don't need to push things too much. We have the lead. We are into stoppage time. Just 2 minutes left to play. And I think we can just keep possession for the entirety of those 2 minutes and ensure that we come away from this tricky fixture with all 3 points. Played a number of teams in recent episodes who, on paper, shouldn't have caused us too many issues, but have really outperformed what you would expect and given us tricky matchups. Mainz in the previous episode. Hoffenheim again here. But those 2 minutes have now elapsed. So really the referee should be blowing his whistle any moment now. Adeyemi to Cancelo, who curls one. Pinball in the area. Nodded down on the edge of the box. But indeed, the referee does blow his whistle. And somehow we've come away from this game with a victory. The classic tale of two halves. Hoffenheim all over us in the first half, and without Nico Schlotterbeck at the back, it took us a little while to settle overall, but especially defensively. Anton and Ozan Kabak found their feet though, and it was a much more solid second half. I think probably on the balance of play, it could have gone either way. I don't feel like it's an undeserved victory by any means, but at half-time, things were certainly looking ropey. Unfortunately, not only do we get the win, but we get some good news about Felix Metscher too. He just bruised his elbow. He's only going to be out for 5 days, which means he doesn't have to miss a game, and he is fit enough to start against Hamburg in our second game of the episode, where again, we will certainly be looking to take all 3 points. Bekir Omoragic comes back into the side for this one. Arne Engels starts in midfield alongside Metscher, and Thiago Thomas starts up front alongside Max Bayer. Max Bayer's goal-scoring form certainly continued in this one, but it was Adeyemi's through ball that really made this goal. A clinical finish from Bayer too, though. And just 2 minutes later, he would score a second carbon copy goal. I'm not showing you the same replay again, but it was pretty much the exact same goal being scored. And then in the second half, a long looping clearance caught the Hamburg defenders unawares. Max Bayer dispatched his third goal of the game, secured his hat-trick, and secured all 3 points for us. So that's now 32 goals on the season now for Max Bayer. We'll see if he can grab another 1 or 2 here as we take on Hanover in our third game of the episode. And Bayer can indeed grab not just 1 but 2 additional goals. João Cancelo scoring, I believe, his first goal for Borussia Dortmund as well. Zabitzer with a late goal to make it 4. Which brings us to our 4th and final game of the episode against Heidenheim. We said 12 points out of 12 had to be the target. We're 9 for 9 so far, and we drop 2 points against Heidenheim. Taiwo Awoniyi, surprisingly, with the equalising goal after Marcel Zabitzer scored the opener. Could be a crucial 2 points drop, because although a draw does of course mean it's another unbeaten month, we actually haven't lost a game since last October against Schalke in the DFB Pokal. A win against Heidenheim would have taken us top of the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich just a point ahead of us now. Still the only team yet to lose this season. We've only lost 1 game though, and that sets up an absolutely enormous month of football in the next episode. We will be taking on the league leaders and reigning Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, trying to give them their first loss of the season. We'll also be taken on Bayer Leverkusen, who we have now managed to leapfrog. We'll be trying to stay clear ahead of them in second position, and we'll be taken on Barcelona twice in the Champions League in the first of the knockout stages, the round of 16. And we will, of course, have to do all of that without Nico Schlotterbeck. So we'll continue to be the plucky underdogs with something to prove in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.